The Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the one and only Jerry Valeri. Jerry, what's happening, bud?
Three-time champ with the lock of magnificence.
Wait, are you sitting on 3 or you're going for 3?
I think. Am I sitting on 3? I've won it 3 times, haven't I?
I won SummerSlam, but you've won everything since then. So you got
6.
What?
That's 6 of them. I win.
6.
7 in a row.
You had Night of Champions. You had we had Battlegrounds
and Backlash.
No, Backlash there wasn't a Backlash. So you're making that up.
No, there was a Backlash, not a Battleground.
Oh wait, I'm totally off now. Okay, you're going for 3, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going for my 3rd.
Yeah, there was 2 and well, let's just get started. Hey everybody, it's the Rob and Jerry. Jerry's got more pay-per-view wins over me, but it's still yet to lock a big one in. He's going to try for that at Survivor Series. In the meantime, I am the Rob here with Ramblin' Jerry V. Good morning, Jerry.
Nothing like starting a podcast with utter confusion.
Yeah.
So, late and utter confusion. That's what I'm all about today.
Yeah, you know what? That's the theme of my day, too. I'm so far behind here. I didn't get anything done this morning. I think I did a show, but that's about it.
I do a feature every Thursday morning where I call a psychic Susanna. And I call her and we talk, and we take calls, and it's fun. And I called her this morning, and she was like, honey, you woke me up. It's Wednesday. And I was like, oh, my God. I thought it was Thursday, but I blame her. I said, you should have known this was going to happen.
I was going to say, she should have. She really should have.
Should have seen it coming.
Even a psychic would have known that, by now you'd have probably screwed up the day at least once.
At least once. At least.
All right. Did you watch SmackDown last night? We've got a lot to get to.
I did. I watched it. I think the only thing that I missed was Bray Wyatt and Kane, and I don't ever need to see that match again anyways, so I'm good.
Well, something happened at the end that was kind of noteworthy, I guess. Out of nowhere, despite Kane coming out to help Randy Orton RKO's Kane.
Oh, God. Furthering this nonsense.
Or is it not? I'm hoping it's like RKOing him out of the story, but I don't think it is.
If by Kane forever, that'd be great.
Yeah, I just don't think that's the way. I think you're probably right. It's probably going to further things. And then I think in like the middle or the end of the show, Orton pledged allegiance to the Wyatt family, but I don't think that's for real.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've grown tired of this story already.
To me, it's not that. I just think I think you don't like Kane.
I don't like Kane, and Randy Orton's always on the fence as far as boring goes. So,
but he's been okay lately, hasn't he?
Until Kane showed up.
I admit Kane can be a career killer, at least an angle killer.
Ruined it.
He has no place in this. It's just, I think they just wanted him to pop out of the casket. I think that's all they wanted him for.
We just needed him. It's a casket, for God's sake. We need Kane.
Gotta have someone pop out of it. So the first note I took from SmackDown, and by the way, we'll get to our Hell in a Cell predictions here shortly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting through stuff so we can get to the predictions.
I wanted to know, I just said at the top of the show when we saw James Ellsworth, you probably didn't see it because you said you tuned in a little late. James Ellsworth was talking to Dean Ambrose about letting him be ringside for the main event.
Yes. And
just seeing James Ellsworth makes me happy.
I just love that he's there.
Yeah.
He's a factor. That's
all I want. Just have him there. It makes me happy. That's all I need.
Have him replace Otunga.
I went with the that's a great idea. I went with the line of the night, actually. I gave it to AJ Styles. I don't know when you started tuning in, how late you were, but did you hear him cut a promo on James Ellsworth?
Yes.
The line was, and it's like a double sentence here, so bear with me. Quote,
good.
I can't get the image of that goober out of my head. It looks like someone took a WWE action figure, put it in the microwave, and melted it. That's James Ellsworth. And if I see James Ellsworth, he's going to be missing more than his chin when I get done with him.
It's the 1-2 punch of insults. And I love that everyone's attacking him for not having a chin. Like, he doesn't have one.
I don't even know how that happens, but I heard
How's he eat? How's he eat like a steak?
What do you mean? I mean, there's something there.
There's nothing. It just goes it just blends into his neck. He's like a turkey.
Looking at him, I'm not sure he's ever had a steak.
He does look like he does look like he has an iron deficiency.
He claimed on the Chris Jericho podcast that his parents didn't have chins either.
Oh my God, he's coming to Altoona. Did you know that?
If he didn't live there, I'd be surprised.
He's coming. Damian Sandow. It's one of those situations where they bring some washed up wrestlers in, and James Ellsworth is on the card.
Are you gonna go?
So's Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, but James Ellsworth is coming.
You're gonna barely recognize them when you see them if you go.
Oh my!
Are you gonna go?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, of course I'm gonna go.
You're gonna be when you see the Hardys, you're gonna be like, "What has happened?"
Oh, is it that bad?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
That'll make me sad because I interviewed Jeff before and I actually liked him.
Matt might be the one who takes you by the most surprise, but they're both wacky now.
Yeah.
That's how people say they want them back in the WWE. While I understand where you're coming from, they're wacky now. They're just wacky.
No, you don't.
I noted that it was oddly refreshing and a pleasant surprise to see Becky Lynch in normal clothes. She kind of looked hot, like in a normal kind of way.
She looks good, and that's the only thing I wanted to mention was that about SmackDown Live was they keep surprising me, and every time I doubt them, they come and they surprise me. Like one of the big doubts that I had was I thought their women's division was garbage, and it still largely is. However, I thought last night Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, they brought it. I'm intrigued by this. I'm more invested in their little feud they've got going on now that she's getting spray painted and I like Alexa's look and everything she's doing. I'm more invested in that than I am Sasha Banks and Charlotte at this point.
I agree, and I'm really high on Alexa Bliss right now. So seeing them work together. Plus, I thought without all the steampunk stuff making her weird, I thought Becky was the best she'd ever looked physically last night, superficially.
Yeah, she looked good.
They did a lot of lead into the other women's match. Natty and Nikki Bella was to decide who's going to be the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series captain.
Who cares?
And and they're building it up, and the whole time wondering, gee, I wonder who's going to be the captain. Is it the biggest star on the entire roster, or is it the person who's making zero impact whatsoever?
It's a tough decision. It's the one dating John Cena or the one that's not.
Right, yeah, the one who's dating Broken Teddy Hart. So there was that. Although I do want to say this when it comes to the Nikki Bella Carmella feud, while it's not gripping me the way that Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch is, or even the way Sasha and Charlotte, not that they're gripping me, but I prefer that feud. They're doing a good job, slow building that in an old school way.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
They're giving you a little bit every week, making you ready to see them tear each other's heads off.
Right.
So I like that. I thought that the Miz and the Spirit Squad could be a match made in heaven. They have good chemistry.
Yeah, they're working out together perfectly.
I'm happy that the Spirit Squad's even there in the first place.
Yeah, you can never have too many nostalgic tag team acts, I think.
And holy cow, on the commentary, the Miz bringing it for Stern fans, dropping a Baba Booey and a hit him with the Hind, which is a casual reference and a deep reference.
Yeah, hit him with the Hind is deep.
Yeah, do you even know hit him with the Hind?
Yeah, well, yeah, I know Hind. I know John Hind.
Yeah, well, that's become a thing. He hates when people say that. And it's something that Jason started doing behind the scenes at the Stern Show, and it made its way on the air, and now it's the new Baba Booey. And because I hate John Hind as much as anybody does, you know that.
Yeah.
At least from an on-air point of view. And he hates when people, because it's kind of making fun of that negative energy he has, just that monotone. He can't get excited or upset about anything.
Right. He's boring.
Yeah, hit him with the Hind. And Miz dropped both of them last night in one sentence. I about lost my mind as a Stern fan.
And I'm sure they're probably playing clips of that today on the Stern Show.
Probably.
Or if it's even live today. I don't know how they do it.
No, they're live today, but it might take till next week for them to get that. But they've been all over those. So hit him with the Hind. Baba Booey.
That.
And then at the end of the show, the only thing worth mentioning is that my big takeaway. my monkey. The big takeaway for me was that James Ellsworth looks to be staying in the main event picture.
I love it. It looks like he's he's involved. He's involved with the title.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. He's becoming more than just a prop.
He's a factor. I hope they put the belt on him at some point. I hope it just ends up on him.
I don't want that. That's ridiculous.
I want that as a joke. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, and everyone's apologizing.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
I want it.
You can't make fun of David Arquette being a champion.
But it'll make more sense, I think, from a storyline standpoint, if they end up putting the belt on him for a second and not like legitimately. And he's just like, what happened? And then, Dean Ambrose beats him up, or AJ Styles gets it back like immediately.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about what you're saying. And on Monday's episode, because we'll be live on Monday after Hell in a Cell, I want to know if you still agree with what garbage is coming out of your mouth.
Okay. I might be a little weird today.
Okay. Is everything okay?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds, when you say, I want James Ellsworth to be champion, it makes sense that you're like, is everything good at home? Like, are you okay?
Yeah, I am legitimately worried about you. So I don't want you to commit to that yet, because I don't want to lose the credibility with you as my co-host here. But I want you to sleep on that one.
I better take a sleep.
Yeah, just sleep on it, and then on Monday, if you still believe with it, we'll address it then.
I wonder if I can kick this meth addiction by Monday.
Well, if Ellsworth can do it, you can do it, bud.
I can do it.
Any guy with two hands and a fighting chance, or any guy with two hands is a fighting chance.
And I have a chin, so watch out.
Yeah, exactly. So you're doing good. That's all I had for SmackDown. Did you have anything else you want to mention?
Let's do it. I want to do predictions right away.
You can tell Jerry wants to get to the predictions. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, how do you want to do this? Where do you want to start here? Because you have ideas that are not even being reported.
Right. Well, I saw rumors there are two matches that could possibly take place. And so why don't we just predict them in case they do, and then we'll count them if they do, and we'll disregard them if they don't.
Are they worth the same amount as the other matches?
If they take place, I think they should be.
Okay. All right, then.
I'm reading Strowman and Zayn, which they're probably waiting on that. They're not going to just throw that at us.
It wouldn't surprise me. Actually, I kind of thought that on Monday they were going to hold us over for the pay-per-view. So I think that's possible. So
Strowman and Zayn, and then Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, which I've already locked in on.
That's right. You locked in on Bo Dallas.
Right.
And,
yes, I did.
Yeah, and I will, that is the logical choice, because Bo Dallas is the one who split from Curtis Axel. So I get why you're saying that. But let me also remind you that Curtis Axel is the only guy who got not only screen time on Monday, but got a really good reaction, and Bo Dallas was nowhere to be seen.
They're pushing Dallas. I'm telling you, they're pushing him.
I mean, you're probably right, and I feel like I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to go with Axel.
Good.
So
that's good.
All right, but again, we don't even know if that match is taking place. There we are, locking in on that. So Jerry's already locked in on Bo. And when it comes to Sami Zayn and Strowman, I'll go ahead and lock in on Strowman.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Okay, cool. All right, so then
I'm taking notes, just so you know. I'm writing down who we're picking.
Yeah, good, because I always forget when Showtime comes who picked who. All right. After that, let's go with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson taking on Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
Right. This is tough. This whole card was so hard for me. I flipped back and forth, and I could justify almost everybody winning their prospective matches. I'm going to go with Gallows and Anderson.
Okay, lock it in.
Lock it in.
I did not have that same problem, and sometimes I do. This was not one of those times. In fact, I would say this is one of the easier times I've had making predictions. Unfortunately, we agree on this one. I say unfortunately because I prefer disagreements, but I also have Gallows and Anderson. I feel like WWE looks at Enzo and Cass as the team that's going to be over no matter what. They don't need the wins.
Yeah, it's rare to see them use a new team to get people over, but that's what they're doing.
But they're so over that, I mean, they're kind of right. I mean, I'd like to see them pick up some victories here and there, but I don't expect to see that happen on Sunday.
Did you find it interesting that they got a heel win on Monday night? Like
they won it. Win? Oh, they still
kind of cheating.
What they do again? I forget.
Cass just kicked Anderson when the ref wasn't looking and knocked him out, and Enzo pinned him.
It didn't jump out at me, but I don't think they're going heel if that's what you're implying.
They're not going heel, but it was just weird how they gave him the win.
Yeah, there's that. Led to one of my Corey Graves tweets. Enzo and Cass stole that one like they stole Enzo's first car. All right.
Look at Graves doing well.
Yeah, he's coming around for me a little bit. I still want him going, but he's coming around a little bit. That empty chair line that Tony pointed out, too, was pretty solid.
Money.
All right. Cruiserweight Championship, TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. Yeah, this one tough. This one not easy. I'll go ahead and lock in. I'll get things started if you want. Lock in on TJP.
Boy, Mo, you're locking in on my boy.
Yeah, I still think it's too soon. While I don't think last month was too soon for them to change the title, this month it's like they've certainly given us a feud. There's enough there to justify a title change. Brian Kendrick is desperate, grasping at air, trying to get this. He feels this is his last chance. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. He's begging TJP to let him win, please. He's trying to pull on his heartstrings, and that's why I think Brian Kendrick wins this, because I think TJP he gets a soft spot for Kendrick. He does something that allows him to get an edge, or he does something kind, and then Kendrick beats him with a chair, or he does something dastardly, or he wins it and he's a total jerk. Like, this is going to cement Kendrick as like a super heel in the lightweight division, and I think they need stories, so I'm kind of hoping for this. I'm going Kendrick.
That's a really, really, really well thought out idea.
Told you, dude, I've been going back and forth.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. The only hesitation I have about what you said is that it just feels really soon for them to have a title change. The Cruiserweight Classic was just a couple weeks ago, it feels like.
It's okay changing the title, though, if it stays. TJP's not moving on from the title. I mean, it's going to be a story with these two battling for it. And I'm okay with it going back and forth if it's the same guy. You know what I mean? I've already locked in, so I won't change it. But now I think you're right, especially the way you said it. It makes a lot of sense now. So, all right, you've got oh my God, I can already feel it. Yeah, but wait for Survivor Series. All right, listen, we'll keep going here. Next match I've got is the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The New Day defending their title against Sheamus and Cesaro. All right, we're going back and forth with locking in, so I'll lock in first. Much to my chagrin, this storyline of tag partners that hate each other only works if they win. I'm going with Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm going with Cesaro and Sheamus. Oh, man, here we go. That's the thing. See, if Monday would have gone a little bit differently, I would change it. But here's what I thought was going to happen. So they're feuding with the New Day, and they can't get along. They can't get on the same page. But once they do, they're gonna jive really well and become champions. And on Monday, I thought it would reiterate that they need to get on the same page. What I think we saw on Monday was them getting on the same page. Right. And but they still don't like each other, which is what I really like about the idea of champions that don't like each other. They're not friends. That's a gimmick I've always liked. I like it, and I'm coming around on this, and it'll be sad to say goodbye to New Day as the champs, but you know what? They don't need the belts anymore. And I think Cesaro and Sheamus, this will be good for both of them. Yeah, no, they don't need the titles at all, to be honest with you. And yeah, they could establish a new team right there. Other teams that have done this gimmick before that I've liked, Austin's done it twice. Once with Shawn Michaels and once with Dude Love. I thought was very well done. So yeah. Personally, I like angles like that. All right. Well, we've got the 3 main events next. So is it the main event or the main event or the main event? Well, do you want to go ahead and put a bet on this? Because which one's going to go last? Should I go with? I think they're going to put the women last. Do you? I do. I'm not happy about it, but when you look at the official list of matches on the website, the first one that pops up, like in the main event banner, it's those two women.
Well, they are the poster. That may be why that is.
Yeah, they're the poster. I think.
I want to clarify my thoughts on this. I don't have a problem with women main eventing a pay-per-view.
No.
I have a problem with them being forced into the main event of a pay-per-view. If it happens naturally and they happen to be in the most talked about and the most anticipated angle of the night, then by all means, go ahead and put the women last. But this is not that. This is just like they're trying to set these Guinness World Records for women in one night, and it's driving me crazy. That's my only problem with it.
Yeah, I have a problem when the top title for the brand doesn't main event. I had a problem with it at SummerSlam. I'm going to have a problem with it. I'm going to have a problem with it here. I'm going to have a problem with it at Survivor Series.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's count this as an official, let's count this as a match. If we're counting the unannounced matches as matches, let's go ahead and make this a prediction. Let's count it as a match. Which one goes last? And of course, if it's not, because you're taking the women, right?
Women.
And I'm going to take, with not a lot of confidence, the Universal Championship.
Yeah, that's what should be. I won't be upset if you're right.
Yeah, so we'll count that as a match. Now, if it's like, for some reason, Rusev and Reigns, it's a push. No one wins.
Yep,
or if it's something else. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Universal Championship, and I say that without any confidence, as a lot of my predictions are. All right, so then why don't we start with Reigns and Rusev, and I'll go ahead and lock in. I have Roman Reigns retaining.
I went back and forth a lot, but I have Reigns as well. I think that it's just Rusev has had that title for so long. It's been a great feud. This is a feud that Roman Reigns is going to win, and this is where he's going to do it. This is it.
So sadly, of the announced matches, we don't have any disagreements yet.
Yes, we do. Kendrick and TJP.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, thanks. And we also disagree on which will go last.
Yes.
All right. Did you have more to explain about that match? I felt I cut you off.
Not really. It's fine.
Okay. If I did, I'm sorry. And then here, you know what? Which match do you want to do next?
Well, let's do the women next, because even if I'm wrong on them being last, I think Owens and Rollins should be last.
Okay.
And you and I both agree on that.
Fair enough. Raw Women's Championship, Hell in a Cell, Sasha Banks and Charlotte. This one I don't really have a good explanation for. I just see Sasha winning.
Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks is going to win it. When I looked at all of my answers and I looked at titles that are changing hands, that's not one that's going to change hands just yet. I wouldn't be shocked if Charlotte wins, but I just don't think they're going to give it to Sasha and then have to take it off her, and then give it to her again and then have to take it off her. I think she's going to keep it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, all these bouncing around that business is bad for business. I feel like it's bad for the title. It's bad for a title. Yeah. So it's hard to invest in a champion when you think that in 2 weeks it's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I do think Charlotte retains, and then that brings us to what we both feel should be the main event. The Universal Championship, the third Hell in the Cell match that we're talking about, which is such a shame. It's such a shame that they're doing that. Yeah. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Universal Championship on the line. Jerry Valerian.
It needs to be made known and mentioned that nowhere on this card, nowhere, is Chris Jericho.
Right, yeah.
Chris Jericho, who pretty much is running the show in an indirect way, is nowhere on this card. We'd be stupid to think he's not showing up in a significant role in this match. I don't know where it goes. It's so hard to pick. I'm going to go against I had a pick all week, and last week and this week, and I changed it today, and I'm going Seth Rollins.
You're going Seth Rollins?
I think Seth Rollins is going to win the belt. I think he's going to get it, and I think there's going to be a real weird thing that happened, and we'll see what goes on from there.
Locking in?
Locking in.
I'm taking Kevin Owens.
No, I should have taken Owens.
Why? Was this
Because I love him. I love Owens and Jericho, and I think he's gonna win. But I feel like like Rollins gets the belt.
Listen, don't let your Jericho logic is correct, but that doesn't mean he's gonna come and help Owens or won't accidentally help Rollins. You know, I mean, like anything could happen. I mean, I agree. Chris Jericho is gonna interfere at some capacity. I'm just who knows what's gonna happen from there.
And the only reason why Owens and Rollins, maybe you might be right with them being last, is there's only one cell, and there's got to be 3 matches in it. So they're not going to tear the cell apart before the last one. And Jericho can't get in if they don't rip a hole in it. So I don't know. Maybe that will be last. I don't know.
Yeah, you can find ways in. You can get creative.
Yeah, you can find a way into the cell.
Especially a creative guy like Jericho.
Right. You don't always have to do it like in the video game where you have to throw them through the cage.
Right. Yeah, it's not a video game. There's ways in there. There's a hole under the ring. There's a door with a padlock. There's lots of ways in that bad boy.
Kane could come out and rip the door right off the hinges.
Kane could come out and lift like he did in the first Hell in a Cell. So
right. So
we disagree on the main event, which match will actually go last.
Yes. We
disagree on the Kevin Owens Seth Rollins match.
Yes.
We disagree on TJP.
Yes.
And if the one match takes place, Axel and Dallas, we disagree on that one.
Right. So we really only disagree on 2 matches that really matter and which match is going last. So 3 big matches.
Yeah, that gives us a lot to look forward to then, I think.
It does. I can't wait to get the lock for the 3rd time in a row.
Honestly, if I were a betting man, I would say your choices are probably safer than mine.
I'm excited about it. I hope that I win again. I'd like to win every single pay-per-view leading up to the one we get to watch together live in Evansville.
Yeah, which one is that? Fastlane?
Fastlane.
Yeah, we get to watch Fastlane. You're going to be in town for that. That made my day when you informed me of that. That's great.
We should do the podcast in muscle shirts.
In muscle shirts?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm too fat anymore, man.
Me too.
No, you're doing good. I look just like a bucket of lard having a bad day.
That's how I feel today. My brain's just not working.
Oh gosh, yeah. So, but either way, yeah, we're excited for that one. We might be able to bring you a live podcast immediately following the show that night.
That'd be good. That'd be cool if we could find a way to do live the whole way through it. Just us commenting on the paper. That might be excessive.
I don't know if people would want to watch that. You're right. That could be excessive, but
especially since I fall asleep at least once during every pay-per-view.
Well, you'll be able to watch this one all the way through. There'll be no fast forwarding when you're watching with this guy.
I know. Well, I don't have to put the kids to bed. I'm looking forward to it. Let's just say that.
So that'll be great. You ready to sign off? Is there anything else you want to add?
I feel like we're done. This is it. This is the sheet. This is locked in.
All right, perfect. All I see is the liner notes behind it.
Orangutan escapes Kansas Zoo enclosure and then returns on her own.
Baba Booey. Hit him with the hind. For myself, the Rob, and my tag team partner, Ramblin' Jerry V. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be watching on Sunday. We'll report back with another live episode on Monday, Post to Post. See you then.